Hi guys, today I decided to make a large frame and I'm going to be making two of them. This is how it started. I got these wooden panels from a hardware store and I got the paint and paintbrush from online, so you can get it on Amazon. I didn't like the black paint, but that was just my personal preference, so I went in and I spray painted it black afterwards, which you can also get on Amazon. After the wooden panels dried, I took some glue, and this is some very strong glue that you can use on all materials. It's more construction glue. I used that for the corners because I wanted something really strong because the frame was going to be heavy. So I applied it to each of the corners. And after I applied it to each of the corners, I used my staple gun to make sure that it is nice and secure. After that, I had some board that I had used from a different project, but it ended up being leftovers. Then I put some adhesive glue spray and then I stuck my picture on there, but I'd rather use a different kind of glue because it wasn't very secure, that adhesive spray. Afterwards, I decided to use a plastic sheet which I brought from a material shop. I preferred this instead of glass because I was a bit nervous using glass. I haven't really dealt with glass and I didn't want to break anything because I wanted to make sure that when I hang this up, it doesn't fall. And if it does fall, the glass doesn't break everywhere. And I don't get to hurt myself. After I was done, I wiped down the plastic to make sure there are no bits on it and to make sure that it's nice and clean and dust free. I put the frame over the board. And after I did that, I went in with my drill and a nail and I nailed the board to the frame. At the back, I also put in some D-rings to hold the frame up. And this is how it looks like. Voila! You can get some of these items on Amazon, and I really hope that you enjoyed my little project. Bye!
So the Dollar Tree has upped their game on wood boxes, and this is one of their new wood boxes in their Crafter Square section. I'm going to use this today with some wood snowman that I had left over from my Christmas stash. So once we removed our labels, I'm going to flip over my wood box, and using some wood glue, we're going to attach each snowman to a corner of the box. And once all of our pieces are attached, I set this aside to dry for about 1 hour. Now let's move our box onto a paintable surface, and I'm using some Waverly chalk paint in the color Sandstone. And I'm just going to give a nice coat of paint around the whole entire box. Now once all of that paint has completely dried, I grab my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster, and we're going to paint the inside square with the plaster colored paint. Now for this next step, I'm going to flip our box over, and I'm using my straight edge, and I'm going to find out what this square inside that box measures out to be. That square inside the box is 5 by 5, and I found this beautiful napkin at Home Goods, and I'm just going to iron out some of the creases in the napkin by placing a piece of parchment paper over the top and using my heat press. Next, let's go ahead and flip the napkin over, and we'll grab our straight edge again. And I'm just going to draw out a square in a 5 by 5 pattern in the center of the napkin. And once we have our square drawn out, grab a pair of scissors and cut out your square. And once your napkin is cut out, go ahead and remove the back 2 layers of the napkin. Now let's go ahead and make sure that that napkin fits in the square before we do anything else. And once we've determined that it does fit, I'm going to grab Mod Podge, and I'm using the matte Mod Podge for this. And we're just going to do a nice coat of Mod Podge over the top of the napkin. And I can be a little bit messy when I'm painting my Mod Podge on, so I ended up painting some of the Mod Podge just in a nice thin layer almost to the top of the rim. Now once our Mod Podge has completely dried, I grab my mineral colored Waverly chalk paint, and I'm using a round brush, and I'm just going to do a dry brush and add a little bit of dimension to this little tray. And I'm just doing this on the outside layers of this tray. Once that has completely dried, I'm going to grab my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster, and I'm going to do the same thing. And that is it. Our little tray is ready to display. Now, thank you for watching Lady Red Crafting. Please remember, craft more, stress less.
Hello, Creative Gems. Welcome to Creativity. I'm Sandy. Today I'm going to show you how to use a few Dollar Tree items like this gold frame mirror, these gold wired storage baskets, this gold mosaic table mat, and this large round platter to make a beautiful one-of-a-kind table that will dress up your home. First, I have used some white nylon cable ties to adhere one wired basket on top of the gold frame mirror. I'll use a gold chrome paint pen to paint over the white nylon cable ties. Then I will insert a medium-sized plastic bowl inside the basket so we can fill it up with some clear glass gems. Any size will do, but you may need 2 to 3 bags to fill up the bowl. Next, I'm going to place a round mirror from the Dollar Tree to the top opening of the plastic bowl. Now I'm going to place a toy animal onto the mirror. This was originally a black horse, but I used a chrome paint pen to paint it gold and silver. The horse will stay standing on the mirror with a tiny bit of double-sided tape on each hoof. This will then become the base for our side table. Now I'm going to take a few more gold wire baskets and attach them together with some more white nylon cable ties. In total for this side table, I'll be using 5 wired baskets, including the one we used to make the base of the table. And just like we did before, I'll use a gold chrome paint pen to paint over the white nylon cable ties, just so everything matches. Now we're ready to place the tower of baskets on top of the base, and then we'll secure everything with a few more cable ties. Next, we'll make the tabletop. I'm brushing on some Mod Podge onto the underside of our gold placemat. Then I'm going to place the side of the placemat with the Mod Podge directly onto our round plastic platter. Wait a few hours or overnight and the Mod Podge will dry clear. And here's the final look for our one-of-a-kind side table. This side table measures in at 25 inches, so it's just a little over 2 feet tall. Of course, if you wanted a taller side table, you could add a couple of extra gold baskets. Everything we used today to make this table was from the Dollar Tree, but when you look at the table, it's so luxurious that you would think it came from a high-end store.
Hi, new friends. My name is Lacee, and welcome to our space, a space where you and I connect of all things DIY. I want to thank Univ Essentials for giving me the chance to share with you my dupe of this Safavieh rug. I ended up making it with jute twine that came in this big thing at Hobby Lobby. I use about 1.5 skeins of this, and all you need to make it is a crochet hook and some hot glue. Though if you live in a hot climate and want to put this outside, you're going to need a stronger adhesive. I made about 5 bundles of chain out of this, and I am going to start here by taking about 8 inches of it and gluing it to itself. And then I'm going to go around it to make the center of the rug. I did about 15 rows here, and then I started bending the chain up without cutting it loose to make these loops. It loops at the top and at the bottom, and I'm going to start off by gluing the loop to itself at the bottom, then gluing it to the big section, the middle section, and then gluing it to itself at the top, and continuing that all the way around until I get where the chains should meet, and then I cut it loose and glue that to the bottom loop and start all over. I do this 2 more times, ending with a solid set of rows. Then once I get the solid set of rows on there, I start on the decorative edge. I do the same thing that I did with the middle, except for this time I make it into a circle, and it is about the size of the palm of my hand. I then decide to do loops that are tight at the bottom, but looped out at the top. This way it looks like our inspiration piece. And I'm going to do this all the way across like a half moon section. I will show you here. We want the loops to be really tight against the circle, and then we have about a half of a moon, and then I'm going to take and not cut the chain at all and wrap it all the way around all of these loops. I'm going to glue it to each loop, and I'm going to make a little dimple towards the middle of it. That's how the ones that the original rug looks like, and I'm going to do that as inspiration. So once I get this all glued together, you need to glue the bottom section on and then glue the top of each loop to the middle and make the little dimple, and then we're going to glue them on to the rug. And I absolutely love how this turned out. I have it on my front porch for fall every year. So I want to thank Yuta Essentials again for giving me this opportunity to share these things with you. And if you want to see the full version of this, it will be on my channel, Lacee Space, and I will catch you in my next video.
Well, hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. This is Christine. I got these little shadow boxes from Michael's for 69 cents, and I painted them with 2 good coats of folk art flat in coconut milk. This is a piece of scrap paper that I had from my scrapbooking pad. So I just measured and marked where I needed to cut, and I cut that out. So once I got that cut out, it was a little too short, but no worries, I'm still gonna use it. Took some glue stick or school glue and applied that to the reverse side of the sheet and just glued that in. And then I took the brayer and just smoothed that out. But while I was smoothing, as you can see, it came out. This is a sample that I got from IOD. I purchased some IOD transfers and they sent me these as samples. So I'm taking this piece and I just peel that off, put it on the paper and use my transfer tool, transfer that on. And you have to make sure that you do this part first before you actually place it inside the box, because once you get it in the box, it's going to be hard to transfer or do any form of work on it. So do this part first before you actually put it in. And maybe it's a good thing why it fell out, because I was able to work on it before I did that. So I glued it back in, use the brayer again to just smooth that out. And to distress this a little, I took a piece of baby wipe and some antique wax, and I just stained the outside of the box. I could have painted that. I didn't want to. I thought about leaving it natural, but then I said no, let me just stain it and make it a little darker. And to seal this, I went in with a little Mod Podge. So next I got this ball of vine garland. I'm going to apply that at the top. I cut that off. I got these little flowers and I'm going to place some in the middle. I just cut off the little stem, applied some hot glue and glued those in. And all of this is embellishment. I mean, you can stop here, you can go further, you cannot do this. This is just inspiration to show you how I'm using the wooden shadow box and my transfers. Here I'm applying burlap bows and I did that on either side. And that is it, guys. Let me know what you think about these DIYs today.
Hi, I'm Robin. Today I'm going to show you the most economical way to decorate your home by using items you already have and giving them a different look. Starting with this outdated cutting board. To give it a new look, I'm first going to take my palm sander and sand off the very outdated decoupage. Then I'm going to give it its first coat of paint and then a second coat of paint. I'm going to use sandpaper to distress back to the original color to make it look old and chippy, which is a classic farmhouse style look. I used a fine grit sandpaper, and when I was satisfied, I then took some burlap and glued it around the bottom of the board because I'm going to turn this into a wall pocket. You could certainly use your favorite fabric. I added a bow, some florals. You could put spoons in here, any kind of cute kitchen utensils, and use it year round. Next, we're going to turn ordinary kitchen items into old looking decor by giving it a faux galvanized finish simply by using paint. I gave both pieces a base coat of black, and I then go in with different shades of gray, making splotches on the piece until I am satisfied, going back and forth between the dark and the light shades of gray. There really is no way to mess this up. You do it until your eyes are happy to get that faux galvanized finish. I added some floral foam, florals, and that is what you ended up with. Next, you can make glass look metal by using the same faux galvanizing technique. Again, spray painting it with black, going over it with a makeup sponge in various shades of gray paint, and dabbing it on very ununiformly until you have this result. I think it looks exactly like an old metal vase. Decorate it any way you'd like. Florals, kitchen utensils, the choice is yours. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to head to my YouTube channel, Crafts Unleashed by Robin, to hang out around my craft table and create some more DIY farmhouse style decor. Y'all go get your craft on. Bye!